After recently signing Dene Ordonez 2 days ago, today we've learned of an initial 10 mil bid to sign the new KAKA. My friends, we've got a ton of big stories, updates and reports to get through today, so you can't afford to go nowhere. So I hope you guys show some love, hit that like button. And speaking of showing some love, my friends, but with Christmas fast around the corner, if you wanted to buy any gifts for your loved ones, friends or family or whoever, I am your guy. Chelsea's Megastore has you covered this Christmas. There's gifts for him, there's gifts for her, there's gifts for everyone. If you guys want to secure any gifts for yourself in time for Christmas, use my affiliate links in the card above or description and use Nini10 at checkout to get a full 10% off your final order. So my friends, hope you guys get what you need, and let's discuss today's first big report. And we start with things, my friends. I'm going to give you guys an update behind our new Brazilian signing in Dene. Now, there's not been much motion around him. A lot of you guys have been quite curious about his current state. And if you guys were unaware, at the moment, he is recovering from a knee injury, which is really unfortunate. I'm going to take you guys to the reports. And as we're learning, Dene has picked up a meniscus injury, which is of course a knee injury. He's just had surgery and he is now recovering. At the moment though, he has traveled to London and that's where he took his surgery, and the club want to keep him very close as they want full control over his treatment and his daily workload, which I think makes a lot of sense considering the money we spent on a guy that hasn't even featured yet for the Corinthians first team. Let's keep it real. We spent around 10 million euros for him. We know that he's the cousin of Gabriel of Arsenal. It's got nothing to do with anything. I just thought I'd let you guys, remind you of that little fact. But he was seen as one of the most promising youth talents to come out from Corinthians Academy. And of course, we took the bait and we invested big money. Now, the positive is that, suffering this injury so young with a body that's still growing, and of course, still getting bigger, means that his recovery could be a lot more smoother if he has a world-class medical team supporting him behind the scenes, helping him with his rehabilitation. The plus side also is he's getting familiar with London, the club, the environment, his teammates as well too. So it only makes sense that Chelsea keep him extremely close to ensure he gets the best possibilities to come back and recover ASAP. I think once he recovers though, I'm expecting this kid to get loaned out to Strasbourg. I think that's what we're looking to do now. That's the little funnel we're creating with his club network. Now we know that he can't actually do anything in Europe until he turns 18, which is February 2026. But hopefully he recovers soon, and hopefully by the time the next summer window opens up, he finds himself in Strasbourg. He's there for the next 2 years and he showcases what he's really about, because I think with his profile, this player we sign is quite different to other players as he's a bombastic, typical Brazilian flair attacking fullback that can really affect the game in the opponent's half. I see maybe little similarities with himself and Alphonso Davies in terms of that type of profile, the pure pace on the outside. I think with all the players that we have that like to kind of play inside at times, or like to kind of have their starting positions wide then coming inside, having that overlapping fullback could offer us maybe a different outlet. So I'm really curious actually to see how this kid develops over the next few years. So you guys, that's everything you need to know on Dene. But in the meantime, we have more big discussions and stories to talk about, because my friends, today we're learning some big news surrounding this exciting talent from Cruzeiro. So let's get straight into discussing who the hell Felipe Moraes is. And as we are learning today from Brazilian reports, my friends, we have made an initial offer of around 10 million euros to Cruzeiro over the possibilities of signing their superstar talent, a guy that is seen as the new KAKA, a guy who is doing big things in the Under-17 World Cup going on right now, and his name is Felipe Moraes. Now, as the report says here, it's only an initial 10 mil offer to kind of test the waters and see if Cruzeiro budge. It makes a lot of sense for us because with his performances for the under-17s at the moment, he's attracting tons of interest from big European clubs, with Barcelona being one of those clubs paying a lot of attention towards him. So that means with other clubs looking to come in now, that might accelerate our efforts to try and tie a deal down for him. We know that the South American market is crucial and key for the club's new strategy and direction. And I think with the recent successes we're seeing from players playing for us from that region, does that give us maybe more of an advantage now when it comes to maybe getting these types of deals secured for big talents like Philippe? Who knows? Let's see what happens, my friends. But I don't know, I've got a lot to say about this. But I think you guys only care about who this player is exactly, because I'm sure this is the first time that you've heard about him. You guys know I'm here to give you guys a lowdown on what to expect. Now, in terms of the position that he plays in, he's an attacking mid. He can play on the left, he can play on the right. But I like to discuss the profile of a player. When I say that, I mean, is he like a playmaker, or is he like a mezzala, or is he like an inside forward or outside winger? That's how I see players. And I don't know, I kind of see this like classic type of playmaking qualities to Philippe's game, which I think makes him quite fascinating. He's getting the comparisons to KAKA, and I think if you're compared to him, that means that you can kind of maybe get more money for him, right? That's how this game works, my guys. But I see maybe more, I don't know, this classic playmaking to his game. You know, KAKA was all about like this powerful strides, especially when he had the momentum on his side. The last player that I saw who had that for us, I'd probably say was Loftus-Cheek, only from that particular type of like momentum, strong, powerful, striding type of dribbling. And I think I see little aspects of that in his game, but I see other details that I think are quite interesting for his age. And I think the thing I like is how this kid thinks on the field. He's constantly scanning, thinking about the next move. He's a forward-thinking guy. And if you look at his body positioning, he's always kind of receiving at angles right. And that makes him quite unpredictable to kind of pick up. Is he going to receive on the half turn? Is he going to go to the left exit, the right exit? Yeah. What type of space can he create for his team to play forward? That's how this guy thinks. Now, he is a right-footed dominant style player, but that doesn't mean that he's afraid to use his left foot, because he can use that left foot, and he'll do that with a few switch balls here and there. Not the same power as his right foot, but for me, the thing I like the most about his two-footedness is how he dribbles on the ball. I like players, especially if you're playing in those central areas, that have the ability to kind of dribble the left, dribble the right, because if you're a defender or an opponent coming up against someone like that, you kind of go down any exit with a drop of the shoulder or close control, a bit of play. That makes it very hard to predict what he's going to do and to really control that type of player. So he has these little like fascinating details to his game. And I think when you're combining it with the fact that at his frame right now, he's like, what, I think 5'9". I mean, that's not too bad for a kid that can still grow. But then he's also showing that he's not afraid to do the dirty work, that he can press from the top. Yeah, he'll put those slide challenges in. He'll run after the ball. He can maintain those pressing duties, and he has the type of the stamina and endurance levels to maintain that. Then you become, I think, a very fascinating player for scouts in Europe. So he has a lot of these interesting details, and it's all kind of packaged up nicely with like this nice little bit of elegance he has to his game. Nice little gait that he plays with as well. He's not like hunched over the ball. You know, he's got a real confidence in terms of how he positions himself on the fields and just his surroundings and his teammates around him. And you see that with how this guy isn't afraid to sometimes just let the ball do the talking. Instead of carrying the ball up the field, you know, you can move the ball faster if you just release it and pass it. And he'll do that by seamlessly playing these really nice weighted, through balls behind lines to connect the field, to connect the guy on the left side, the winger on the right hand side. He's got really good progressive passing abilities. And he's also got that goal threat where he can come inside the box, use his head, and kind of goes with his arrivals. So I can see why a lot of clubs are showing particular interest in this kid. For me, in my opinion, if I was a kid, I'm saying stay at Cruzeiro, play for these lot, right, before you kind of move on to Europe. I'm sure Cruzeiro would love that because they don't want to sell him now when he hasn't played for their first team, because if he cooks in that league, they can get a lot of money, nowhere near the 100 million that's in his release clause. No one will be getting that, but they can get a lot more than these paltry 10 mil offers. So let's watch the space, you guys. But all I know is, if big clubs are after you, that can accelerate maybe our decision making to try and get in ahead of these guys, and at least we have the perfect environment for a young budding Brazilian star to kind of find himself in Europe and kickstart his career. So how do you guys feel about the player that you're seeing right now? The Brazil under 17 team will take on France very soon, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be actively kind of seeing what he does when all those compilations do get released on Twitter. So my friends, leave your thoughts below, but let's continue this discussion. You guys know how we play right now. We know that we become a 3-2-4-1 team, so I'm not going to give you the whole lineup, just the attack. And I guess with all the talent we got coming, yeah, Kenda doing big things. He will only get better as the season goes on. Watch out for this kid. Kendry Paez, probably think he might get another loan at Strasbourg, but he's going to be slowly cooking as the season goes on. You got Gittins, Garnacho, only now showcasing the talents they have for us right now. Yeah. How does YILDIZ necessarily just like bookmark that place in the team? Now, with his profile, I guess he could play on the left, right, but we all know that YILDIZ is playing more as like that second striker or that type of attacking mid where he can play off a striker, play more in interior positions, combine more centrally as well and drive. You know that Juve use a wing-back setup, 3-4-2-1. That's how he's operating. And you'd imagine that he would kind of recreate that role playing for us. So let's say with our very own 3-2-4-1, could this one day be like in the future, like some mad looking Chelsea attack? Because I think with this type of talent, right, I can't be seeing like a Kenda on the bench when Chelsea signed him knowing that he could be one of the top guys of his generation, and he is in the top 3 teen talents in the world, just behind Yamal and Esteval. You're not ignoring that, right? But then my thing is, if you're going for YILDIZ, could that low-key be communicating that we have maybe different ideas in terms of how we want to kind of revamp how we attack or the profiles we use? Because we know that Enzo would take the spot that YILDIZ has. Does Enzo just kind of drop into midfield? But then you think to yourself, but wouldn't you want to have maybe more of like a Lavia profile, and Andre Santos, and Adam Wharton alongside Caicedo to allow an attack like that to cook? I don't know, man. Like, it's very hypothetical, but as I'm saying, we've seen so many links and reports to YILDIZ. I can't imagine the club would just kind of ignore him if they didn't think there was maybe a chance to try and get him. And if we're going down this route, what is the possible type of play in which YILDIZ gets used? I'm going to leave that question to you guys. I'm sure it won't be the first time we discuss YILDIZ Chelsea links, so let me know how you're feeling in the comments right now surrounding how you would use YILDIZ and where you see him fitting. Because yes, he's a guy that can play on the left, in the middle and up front, but that only comes with new issues because there's new competition. Garnacho, Gittins on the left, Palmer, Enzo, Paez, whoever in the middle, Delap, Omega, Joao Pedro. So I don't think it's that straightforward. Let me know how you guys are feeling and get involved in this conversation. Let me know what you're thinking around what we do. So in the meantime, I want to end things by discussing the big news that we've all been waiting for surrounding a front of shirt sponsor, my friends. So yeah, let's discuss what's going on right now. And we know that it's looking like Oracle are set to become our new front of shirt sponsor. Now, I want to discuss the news that was broken by Twitter account Lou Class, as you guys are seeing on screen right now. Give me a sec. It's on screen right now. I don't think it is. Yeah, okay, it's on screen right. No, it's not on screen right now. Apologies, you guys. Let me get back to that. My OBS is kind of messing up a little bit right now. But as it's saying right here, Chelsea are close to announcing a new front of shirt sponsor. The Oracle deal is reportedly tied to broader investments by Clear Lake Capital. The deal is expected to last until the end of the current season. Oracle will pay significantly less than the club initially expected. And I know that a lot of you guys are instantly just going to focus on those last sentences. significantly less than what we initially hoped to get. And we all know that was going to be the 60 million a year deal, which clearly isn't going to happen anymore. And are we paying the price for not being humble earlier? Because surely we had offers of around 40 million every single year, which we was turning down in hopes that we would get more money. In my opinion, well, we never secured the Jordan deal, obviously because we never got Champions League football, but for me, it was more deeper than that. It told me that the big brands don't think we're worth the price that we want right now. And that tells me that you probably have to win a Prem or a Champions League to try and command that type of fee in the market right now. So let's watch the space and see what happens. But in the meantime, I think we need just like a short-term deal that can kind of generate some more commercial income for the football club. In terms of this deal, we are learning that it is going to involve a fixed fee with performance-related bonuses attached. So depending on how well we do this season, we could possibly command more money from this deal. But I don't know, there's one particular part of this tweet that I've just been running my head through. And for me, it's this part here. You know, the Oracle deal is reportedly tied to broader investments by Clearlake Capital. You guys want to understand what the hell it means. So here's my explanation for what this means. Obviously, Clearlake, Chelsea's ownership group, you know, we want to invest in Oracle. So I only see two things happening from this. One, Oracle will get access to like our sponsorship estate, right? In the sense of they can kind of put their branding on the training kits, of course, the shirt, digital assets. They can be that official data partner, kind of get access into a new sport. That's one positive from it. And the other positive is that you also get access then to like the huge portfolio of companies under Clearlake. Let's look at FTP software, for example. Clearlake have invested into them, hence why they're also the sleeve sponsor right now. And I guess there's this, you know, type of like potential type of partnership relations between like an Oracle and FTP, maybe for like the South Asia market. So I can see how there's a lot of like complementary factors around that could help us. And is this like maybe like another smart workaround similar to the deal we had with the recent software company? What was it? Athlete something. How the hell? I'm forgetting top of my head right now. But we all kind of thought, okay, is this Chelsea kind of just like making up something right now to try and just find a loophole so we can kind of put our own money into this deal? Like potentially, right? But I guess maybe with Oracle, it might be a little bit more legit. So, you know what? I guess we take what we can get. Oracle, depending on how well the season goes, could they possibly be our sponsor for next season? Who knows? Maybe that might be Planeteer at this rate, right? Like, that's the nature in which things are going down right now. But as I'm saying, you guys, you know, I could focus on being really annoyed at the fact that we aren't getting 60 mil deals, but I think we can just kind of taste reality, right? We just aren't that club right now that has that type of motion to command that type of money. But with what we're building and what we're cooking right now in the distant future, I don't think that would be impossible. So at least we get temporary money coming in, and it gives us more time to find, hopefully, more long-term solutions in the future. So my friends, that's me today. That's all the latest news. Get involved in the conversation. Comment away below. Let me know how you're feeling about the reports today, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with more videos. Love. Cool.